Introducing her, except I love her story that she first encountered Serra in 1992 when she was invited by the chaplain of the Lafayette Serrans to speak about her ministry as director of religious ed in her parish. The local club was composed mainly of men and later welcomed both single and married women, but it did take a time. Yeah. Right, ladies? Yes. Okay, I won't go there. In 2004, Ann and her husband, Bill, joined the Lafayette Serra Club. And she served as many of us, membership committee, trustee, treasurer, bylaws, anything that happens to be on the list. She's done it. And her husband also has had several president and treasurer responsibilities. Ann and her husband Bill have 2 adult children with 5 brilliant grandsons, and the mother is here, right there, and 1 beautiful granddaughter. So Ann can talk more about what she's up to and her jobs and her vocations, but I'll turn it over to her and pray for technology working.
So last year I came and I talked a lot about the NEC, the National Eucharistic Congress, because even though it had been months since it, we were still floating, and I'm still floating because those of you who were on Serra Meets this past week heard Bishop Daly. Not even this past week, Monday. Yeah. Monday, oh my gosh, time flies. Monday, Bishop Daly said, yes, the bishops had approved having another National Eucharistic Congress in 2029. They won't tell us where yet, but we all know it has to be in the Midwest because, that's the other ends of the country that doesn't work, so it's going to be someplace in the Midwest. So we're very excited and know that on the U.S. Council, we're going to start talking about what we want to do for the National Eucharistic Congress. But I also talked to you a lot about our strategic plan, which actually the SI Foundation, the Serra International, and the U.S. Council gathered a couple of years ago in Chicago in August, right after I had double knee replacement. So it was a pain to walk around. But we gathered to talk about where do we see Serra going? What is our vision coming up? So we had, our vision that we set for 2035 was to become recognized as the worldwide resource for supporting religious vocations. So that when people hear Serra, they're not thinking the tree huggers. Yeah. They're thinking, no, this is about vocation work. So that's the vision. But for the next 3 years, so from 24 to 27, we wanted to make sure, and this is for all Serra clubs throughout the world, that we wanted to foster a culture of vocations to the ministerial priesthood among parishes, schools, and families. So the strategic plan that we started actually incorporated that to bring us to that goal. And that strategic plan, every council in Serra, so we have 9 councils, and so the United States Council is the biggest. We've got 8,040 Serrans in the United States, so we're the biggest council. There's about 13,000 Serrans worldwide, but we by far have the majority of Serrans. So all those councils have a strategic plan. Ours is sort of crafted for what we need in the United States. And we actually had 3 goals, and that first goal is to increase awareness of Serra at all levels. Number 2, improve local club engagement at the parish level. And 3 was expand support for Serra clubs. We chose, instead of trying to attack the whole plan at once, we said, let's break it into manageable chunks. So the chunk that we chose for 24 through 25 was that 3rd goal, to expand support for local Serra clubs. So in order to actually start that, many of you remember it, because I'm sure I talked about it, we wanted to find out, what are our local Serra clubs doing? So we came up with a questionnaire just to see what local Serra clubs were doing. And we sent that out to the 100, I think we had 189 clubs at that point in time. So we sent it out to them, and we got information back on what they were doing. And we didn't tell them this, but we scored it because we knew that a possible perfect score was 100. But we gave some bonus points too. And we found out that we had 4 clubs in the United States that were at 120, which kind of blew us away. And then we also found out we had 30 clubs that were 100% or more. So we wondered, if we want to expand support, how do we do that? Well, I think we did it by recognizing what they were doing. And that's what started us thinking about, hey, can we give an award to these clubs that were doing such an amazing job? And I put a little committee together, and it's morphed into the Club Award Committee, and decided to, let's give awards to those 34 clubs. 4 of them that did that walk on water will get us 1 award, and then the other ones that are already perfect, will get a 2nd level of the award. So that became the Siempre Adelante, which is always forward. Does that sound familiar to you? Okay, so Siempre Adelante, and the 4 clubs are Fort Worth, Texas, Louisville, Kentucky, and I had to practice this. Owatonna? And Southeast Kansas City, Missouri. Wow. And this is somebody here from Owatonna?
Yes.
Could you stand up, please? So this is morphing into I'll talk more about it, but this is morphing into something that we're going to continue doing. But to recognize those clubs, those particular 4 clubs, we're giving out an award, the gold award, the gold level Siempre Adelante award, which will be handed out at our rally this coming January at the Augustine Institute. So we're really thrilled about it. And it's funny because we announced it in the Serra magazine because we decided we would do that. Now I have to find this. Judy gave me this just to hold up.
I did.
We announced it in the Serra magazine, which came out, I'm thinking, in October. And I listed all the clubs and everything. And then I followed up with a little email to the club president saying, congratulations, you're going to get your award in January at the Augustine Institute. And I had club presidents, a couple of them contact me and say, what are you talking about? What? So where was what? But they didn't read my article, which was 2 pages, and which said, and then it got worse than that. It got worse. The one club said, well, we're not listed. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, yeah, we changed our name a couple of months ago. So now we're in Central Kansas, Central Arkansas. We're not Little Rock anymore. So Little Rock was listed there. But the award will be handed out at the Augustine Institute when we gather in January. So those are our 4 gold level. But you know what? Those perfect clubs, too, we had to honor them. And we've got some here, too. So those silver certificates, there's 30 of them, but one is from Bismarck, Manda, and North Dakota. Is anybody from Bismarck here? Shoot.
Man.
Oh, that one I wasn't. Van Dan. Okay, Van Dan. Who is the district governor here?
He's not here either.
But they're going to get.
And Pete was going to be here from Bismarck, but he broke his ankle.
Oh, he's forgiven.
He had to back off.
He always comes.
Okay.
Yes, he always.
I thought I met somebody from North Dakota last
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Okay. But then we've got a couple more.
Yep.
Northwest Hennepin. Did I get that one right?
That's Bob.
Where, is that you? Okay, how many are, okay, can we see who you are? Because you're perfect clubs. Okay, you're
Stand up.
You're-
This is the.
Okay, excellent. But then, I know this one, Rochester, Minnesota. Okay, I think I can do this one too. Wabasha County. No way! We have Wabash College in Indiana. Wabasha. Is somebody here from Wabasha?
I'm representing them.
Okay,
You can
but-
clap for me.
Okay. And then I heard Wright County. Where are you, Wright County? Stand up, please. I know, so it will be at the Augustine Institute, which is just gorgeous. The dorms that we'll be staying in are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And it'll be an amazing a time for us. And we've got some great speakers lined up and some really great leadership opportunities for us too. So we'll hand out the awards. You're going to get a certificate and then this great picture, which I should have put on the PowerPoint, great picture of St. Future of Serra, which we found many copies of, and it's like a 2x3, and it's frameable. We found a bunch of copies in the Chicago office. So I have them all, and we'll be handing them out at the rally in January. So congratulations, everybody. And as I said, we're not done with this. We're going to continue it. So the group, the Club Award Committee, I think they're just calling themselves the Award Committee, developed a survey which we actually sent to all club presidents back in, I think it was August, just trying to see and to remind you what you need to be doing as a club. You know, you need to have club officers. You know, how does your club operate? You need to actually meet in order to do that. You would think that would be, yeah. But you know, we do have clubs that don't. We have one club that doesn't meet. So, but we think you should be. We recommend that you should be meeting. Yes. We also want to talk to you about, your vice presidents need to be trained in ongoing formation. So we have national calls for them every single month. There's, either the vocations or programs. So we want to know, are you sending your people to that also? And, really, what are you doing for leadership training? Because one of the great things for leadership training is what you are doing right this very instant. This meeting as a region, listening to other clubs, hearing what they're doing, getting some little helpful hints, having somebody from the Chicago office or somebody from the U.S. Council here to talk to you. This is perfect, and we want to make sure that all of our areas are doing it. We actually have 2 areas, the 2 ends of the country that don't do this. This is a theme, 2 ends of the country that are not as on board with everybody else. But we really want to encourage these kind of regional gatherings or time to get together and share amongst yourself what's going on. Another area we're looking at is finances. And I heard Rochester talking about that. Oh my gosh, yes, that's so important. Is your club treasurer trained? Are you filling out the proper IRS forms? Do you have, does your treasurer give a financial report at every single meeting? So we're asking these kinds of questions. 2, about, what's my last one here? Participation. What are you doing? What's going on? Did somebody from your leadership, did they come to the rally in January? Anybody go to the SI convention? Did you attend a regional conference or retreat? And have you returned this particular survey? And then finally, what are you doing for vocations? Because we found out when we sent the original survey, we said we wanted to see every club do like maybe five vocation activities during the year. And we found some that were doing like 1 or not really doing any. We found one that wasn't doing anything. That's not helpful. That's not what we're about. So again, we've sent this to our club presidents. They've got until August to get all this stuff completed and then sent back to us. And then we'll be getting the second annual Siempre Adelante Award. So that's what we did in 24-25. Then in 25, I think April or June, went back to the strategic plan. Okay, we finished goal 3. What do we want to do now? So we decided we would tackle this particular year. We're going to tackle increasing the awareness of the work of Serra at all levels. So that means, does the bishop know what you're doing? Does the bishop know what Serra's about? We thought that was extremely important. Do your parishes know what Serra's doing? Does your club know what you're supposed to be doing? So, this became something that we really wanted to concentrate on. So our first priority was to inform the bishops, priests, and vocation directors about what we did. So we're still working through that, encouraging Serrans to make sure that they're meeting with their bishop. How many, really, your club should meet with the club president should meet with your bishop once a year. Just to say to the bishop, here's what we're doing, what do you want us to do? Is there something else that you would like us to be working on? Same thing with the district governors. It's often nice that the district governors goes to those meetings with the bishop. We also are mailing that Serra magazine that some of you didn't know anything about. We're mailing that, making sure that the bishops get it too, and the vocation directors. We already are sending a copy to the seminaries, but we want to make sure that they are really aware of everything that's going on. So I think I just sent something to our district governors about reminding them to have our presidents put bulletin blurbs and into the bulletin. And these are little tiny things that have been crafted for every week of the year, keyed to whatever the gospel is, and it can be inserted in a bulletin, just reminding people to pray for vocations, to work for vocations. And then the vocation director can actually put his contact information there. So that's already done. It's really easy for a club president just to send that out to the parishes within their area. And then also there are prayers of the faithful geared to the readings, one for each Sunday of the year, that you can send to the parishes, that a club can send to the parishes, and have them incorporate that into the prayers of the faithful every Sunday. So just little things like that we're trying to remind our Serran club presidents that their club should be doing, so to really help bring that awareness about. The second priority in that particular goal is to expand the presence of Serra International in the local media and talk about our work. So we just hired, I'm so pleased, the Chicago office just hired Ann McCormick, who is now the director of communication. And Ann had been involved with, she's funny, had been involved with Serra since like 1992. She worked in the Chicago office. Some of you may have known her then. And then she left for another thing, she said. I can't remember how she said she had it. She had brain freeze or something. So she left for a couple of years, but she's come back. And it's just so refreshing to have somebody looking at communication and just seeing what we should be doing, get our message out. So you'll start seeing, how many of you get Always Forward? Please tell me you do. Please. Always Forward. It's an email that comes like maybe once a week or something. Oh, please. Oh, okay. All right. If you don't, I need you to touch base with me, and I'll give you my card, and then you email me, and I'll make sure that you're getting it, because you should get this every week. But Ann has been doing Always Forward, but she just started, what did she call it? Time with Pope Leo, or something personal with Pope Leo. And it was just so nice to get that kind of email with little tidbits about our new Holy Father, just to make that really special for us. So Ann is doing a great job just making sure our communication and everything just gets out there. So it's a pleasure to have her on board with us, making sure that we're in the media. The next one here is improve communication to increase awareness of Serra at all levels, which is why I keep handing out my business card to when someone says, we don't get the Serra, we don't get always forward. I need to hear that so that we can make sure in the Chicago office that you are getting those things, because it's so critical for you to get them. We are also looking at, how do you want to communicate? I think at some point you're going to be getting a little survey from our communication committee just asking you, how would you prefer to receive communication? Are you okay with email? Do you want a text? What is your preferred, or do you want it mailed? Because we do mail some things to Serrans because they do not have email access. So we want to know how you prefer us to be communicating with you. And then also, trying to really work on some kind of a marketing plan to make sure that we're sending out the press releases when we're doing something, talking about the work that's going on, and even making sure that we're in our local Catholic media, which is so critical for us. The next priority was to provide education information on vocation trends and why we need vocations. So I'm thinking I did it in January, maybe February. I sent a link to the most recent CARA report on the newly ordained. I love the CARA report. Once a year, they tell us about, these are the guys who were ordained. Now, do they have anything in common? Well, we all know that they're more than likely they've been an altar server, or homeschooled, or went to Eucharistic adoration. There are trends about the vocations, so you sort of keep your eye on that. But it's good to look at, and I think as Serrans, we need to know those trends, which is why I made sure that all of our Serra clubs have got that copy of the CARA report. And I asked them to share it amongst the members, but it's on our website too. So, I think our website, if you haven't been on the website recently, you really need to look, because we did it about a year ago, and then Mike Downey, who is the current immediate past president, has been working on that and making sure that everything on there is up to date. We hate it. You go to the website and you see something that happened 6 months ago, and you're like, yeah, but I want this, I need this information. If you got something, that you need about Serra, go to the website, because more than likely it's there. And then the other thing too, our Spark website. Judy gave me one of these too. And I should mention this, Judy Cousins, who's sitting over there, she brought extra Serra material that she's had laying around on a shelf, and she said it doesn't do her any good on a shelf. So if you would look in that blue room, Judy laid some things out on the table, but one of the things she laid out was a bunch of Spark cards, and Spark is our website, a portion of the website that has 31 tools to help with vocations. So the 31 Club and instructions on how to do it is at that website. The who said they were doing called by name? What club? Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. The call by name program is mentioned there.
Not only mentioned, they have a whole.
I know.
Somebody did a whole tool package with multiple slides on how you plan it, how you get it going.
Yeah, and as clubs develop things like that, I've heard the mention of a club today that I've never a program I've never heard mentioned before, and I think you mentioned it.
Melchizedek?
No, Melchizedek's on there, but there was another one.
Great Promise.
Great Promise. Never
Great
heard of that. So I'm gonna follow up
Altar
and get
server
some
and
more. Altar server's on there.
Well, that's the Great Promise.
Oh, it is. It's altar servers.
Oh, no.
No.
It's
No, it's
not.
something else.
So our club started that. Van and our club started that.
It's Great Promise.
Yes.
Okay, I need to know. Come get my card.
They're number
I need
4.
to agree
They
with
were
someone.
one of the top 4.
Oh, Tana. Oh, your picture's on there. Thank you. Okay,
Here, I'll give
I got your number. Yeah.
I'll give you your card too.
Please, yes. Because that, I mean, things like this we need to know about. And if you have resources, you put them on, we'll put them on the website because it makes it so much easier for anybody to do it like that. So we're really trying to keep track of all that. Let's see, the fifth priority, foster, oh, I love this one. Foster partnerships and collaboration with Catholic organizations on all levels. I heard you talking. Oh, yes. And we worked with this on the Knights of Columbus, or we had this group with us. We're trying, I have a committee that's called the Relationships Committee, and that's what they do. We're trying to find those Catholic organizations that are intuitive for us to be partners with. Knights of Columbus is a no-brainer. We just started to develop a relationship with CCMA, Catholic College Campus Ministers, because that organization, while they're not actively promoting vocations, they're getting vocations. So we want to make sure that that's an organization that we partner with.
We have two groups in our church. One is Exodus 90 for men, and
Oh,
the
yeah,
other one
yeah.
is Fiat, and they are active with the handmaids.
Yes, see, wonderful. But we're trying to identify all those kinds of organizations and begin to say to those organizations, hey, we're Serra, here's what we do. And we'd love to be doing work with you. And then our next step, and I'm going to do this in February, is to tell all our clubs, our club presidents, here's the organizations we think you should be partnering with. If you've got them in your diocese or your area, reach out to them. Because this is important. I mean, if we're going to grow vocations, we want more than just us involved in our vocations. So, club presidents be looking for an email from me soon, I hope. Yes, by February, yeah. And then, making sure that we are working with those Catholic organizations. There's so many of them out there. They just seem to be crawling. I met one in Cincinnati that was just for parents who have children in the priesthood or religious life. Just because they say parents need somebody to talk to with each other about that. So great group, yeah. And he's going to be on Serra Meets in July, I think. And then finally, improve communication, branding, and messaging of Serra internally and externally. Whew. The U.S. Council doesn't have to do that because that's Serra International who will handle that. So that's the kind of stuff we're working on right now. So for us, it's going to be we're going to be running for the next couple of months to finish that goal 1, and then hopefully tackle goal 3. But I will be out of office by the time we start tackling that, so I'm hoping Colonel John will finish it for us. And we actually replace officers at our Serra International Convention, which, oh my gosh, it's in Indianapolis. I could walk there. But, so I'm hoping, like a lot of you, have the opportunity to come to that. That's really going to be a gorgeous, just a wonderful time for us to get together at Serra. And it's not that far from Minnesota. So we'll be at the Hyatt in downtown Indianapolis, July 9th through the 12th. Because it has to be a little bit later, because in Indy we don't recover from the 500 until sometime after that. But, and this is what I want to leave you with. I gave a talk to my own Serra Club. We do clergy appreciation, clergy and religious appreciation. So we did it the end of October, and they decided they didn't want the bishop to speak. They got me instead, which is really wild. So I talked to them, and I ended with this slide to tell them, here's what we do, call us. And we've got, bunches of religious sisters there. We had a bunch of priests, deacons, and everything. And I said, call us because we foster vocation to the priesthood and consecrated life, affirm vocation to the priesthood and consecrated life, and grow in holiness through our work. When it was over, the little nuns came up and were talking to me, and then I saw someone standing by the PowerPoint, which was just like this, and it was a deacon that I know, and he said, "What's wrong with this? I said, what do you mean, what's wrong with this? He says, where are the deacons? What? You got priests, you got consecrated religious, where's the deacons? And I said to him, well, that's that has nothing to do with me. That's Serra International, they call the shots. And he said, if I see somebody with the title of president, that means that they can change things. And I was like, no. So I went home and I thought, and I was at adoration the next day and I thought, damn it, yes. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Because if you, as Catholics, we know that our deacons, they're ordained. They're ordained. That's holy orders. They've received that. How do you say, no, we don't support them? We support everybody else, but we're not going to support them. So I had a little Zoom meeting and invited some Serrans who were deacons, and we're gonna propose a bylaws change for Serra International. So the reason I talked to you about the international convention is because that's where it'll come up. So we're working on the bylaws right now. It was really neat. They connected me with somebody who was the head of there's an international organization for deacons, which I wasn't even aware of. So they connected me with somebody from that. So we're putting our proposal together, and it's a very simple bylaws change because the bylaws has 3 points, just like this: priest, consecrated, and then holiness. And all he has to do is insert a 4th one there that says permanent diaconate. And the rationale is because when we started back in 1935, guess what?
There were no permits.
Right. That's the whole point. There weren't. So we're going to put this together, and then I'll float it by the U.S. Council, which I don't think will have any problems passing, and then send it to Serra International. And the vote will come at the International Convention, and guess what? Every club gets a vote. So please, clubs, even if you can't make the International Convention, please give your proxy to a district governor or a regional director so that we have the votes to pass this at the International Convention. Because you know what? I think the time has come. The deacons are something we need in the Catholic Church. They're not in competition with the priests. They do things. There are places where the priests can't be. Sometimes talking or just being in prisons. My own deacon, his ministry is prison. And he is in the prisons and the jails constantly. I don't know that our pastors or priests could be doing that. So it's such an important role. And just like visiting the sick, helping with burying the dead. I had 2 brothers that we buried this past year, and both of them were cremated, and the cremains were sent to me, and I went to the deacon, and he was so gracious, just coming and doing that, like the committal service for me. This is why we need them. So pray for this. Keep this in prayer because we really would like to see this pass. Okay, and that's what we've been up to, and hopefully we'll get finished this year. Yeah. A question?
So, it might be, this is all really important, but something that we can do now is whenever we have a rosary for vocations and we pray for priests, we just add the word and deacons. Every prayer, we say for priests and deacons.
I think that would be beautiful. And you always say when you come to a regional gathering like this and you're all together, you want to have something to take home, some kind of action step. I would recommend that would be the action step for your clubs. Take that back to your boards and say, hey, here's what we think we should be doing. What do you think? Because it gets that word out. Yeah. Anybody else, a comment or a question? Yes, please.
If you do the monthly pray for priests and seminarians, we also do one for the deacons. We just put it alphabetically and we pray for our deacons monthly.
So you've already been doing this.
Yeah.
See, doesn't this look like the Holy Spirit just saying, hey, come on, you can just do it.
On our call by name cards, we're gonna do this next weekend in our parish.
No way.
We have deacons on there. deacons are on the card. So priest, consecrated religious, and
Send a copy of that to, send it to me, send me a copy
Father
of that.
Doug, our vocation director, wrote a different tagline at the top than the one I got on the website, and I really like it. I really
How
like it.
neat. Please make sure I have a copy of that, please, yes.
This is what Julie was just talking about from St. Cloud for the deacons.
Well, no, that's
Oh,
not
how
trifle.
neat, how neat.
I'm talking about the monthly.
Oh, you're talking about monthly calendar, okay.
Yeah.
But we have a trifold too.
Thank you, thank you. Anything else?
Can I ask what the tagline is? Yeah, we
Oh.
want to know the tagline.
The tag?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Sorry.
I got a copy of it somewhere.
This looks like my Sarah meets on Monday.
It says, after prayerful consideration, I'd like to encourage this person to follow Jesus as a priest, sister, brother, or deacon, if this is the Lord's desire.
Oh,
Yeah.
how neat.
Here, I'll
Thank
give
you.
it to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, thank you.